autumn time. Probably the most romantic season of the year. The leaves starting to fall. You can walk here around in the woods in Sweden, and of course you can wear some very warm and cozy fragrances. Is this my favorite season? Maybe. I think it's very nice because the air here in Sweden is much cleaner, it's a little bit colder, and it's very fresh comparing to the hot and humid summer. So today I'm going to talk about some very nice fragrances for this fall and autumn time that I personally am going to use. And all these fragrances are unfortunately not crowd-pleasing fragrances. Some of them girls don't really like in particular, and some of them girls really love. So these fragrances are both for people who don't really care what people think around them and just want to wear a fragrance for themselves, and also someone who's looking for a mass appealing fall and autumn fragrance. So, the first fragrance that I will use this autumn time and also winter is a fragrance that I haven't used or haven't tried for at least 5 years. This is a fragrance that a lot of women don't really like, and I didn't like this one when I first smelled it. I think it was too feminine. I thought it was not so clean as I wanted it to be. And of course it's not a typical clean and fresh fragrance, but that's the whole thing with winter autumn fragrances. They're not supposed to be clean, they're supposed to be warm, sensual and romantic in my opinion. And this is Jour Homme Intense. This fragrance is the most romantic fragrance in my opinion. And shout out to Stoneface who sent me the sample so I can enjoy this in this upcoming fall and autumn. This is a fragrance I would recommend everyone to underspray rather than overspray. A fragrance that some people don't get, I think. It's a beautiful creation, and it takes a little bit of time to get used to this fragrance. It wasn't a love at first sniff for me at least, and it took me a couple of years to really appreciate the creation of this fragrance and what type of scenarios that I wanted to use this fragrance in. But I know that this winter I am going to wear this fragrance and this autumn time. It is a beautiful iris fragrance if you haven't tried it, and it's very romantic as well. This is something that I will wear when I'm a little bit more dressed up. This is not a daily driver, even though it's autumn, fall. I use this only in the nighttime. I use this only when I'm a little bit dressed up. Maybe I have the smoking on, maybe I'm going to a very fancy party, taking a little drink at the rooftop bar maybe, or something like that, or a very luxurious event, maybe a vernissage or something like that, or some creative type of event. Then this fragrance is a very good fragrance for you. It becomes even better when you're wearing it in the cold days and cold nights, especially when people get a whiff of this fragrance, you stick out from the crowd. You're not going to be the typical person that's only wearing a fragrance, a fresh and clean fragrance. You're going to be smelling more interesting to a lot of people. Especially people who like fragrances in general will appreciate this beautiful scent. Another very beautiful fragrance for the fall, autumn and also winter time is a fragrance that is called Valentino Umo. And this is a kind of a version of the original Jour Homme that is no longer available, but some people say that the Jour Homme original that is called nowadays is pretty similar. This fragrance smells a lot of chocolate. It smells very sweet. But this is also a very elegant fragrance in my opinion, if you don't overspray it, of course. It's a fragrance that it smells a little bit hopeful, in my opinion. It's a fragrance that gets you dressed up quicker than you usually dress yourself up, if you know what I mean. It gets you going. It's very juicy, it's some dark chocolate, and also it has some type of iris vibe in this one. I don't know if there's really iris in this fragrance, but it replicates a classic Irish note, very good Irish note. Valentino Umo is a very good fragrance in the sense that it doesn't try to be something that is not. You know, you can go take a stroll here in the park here in Alnarp in Sweden, and you can enjoy this with your girlfriend. You can be dressed up. You don't have to wear boots, you don't have to wear something super relaxed. You can also almost wear a suit and take a little walk. And it works really well with this fragrance. Projection, okay. Longevity, pretty okay as well. And what I like with this fragrance is that it's a super mass appealing and mass pleasing fragrance, that a lot of girls love this one. But just be easy on the trigger with this one, because it is very potent and it becomes even sweeter when it sits on your skin for a while. So this one I am going to wear both this fall, autumn time and also into the winter time, where I'm going to wear even heavier scents. This one is a great choice. I have 3 fragrances left that I'm going to talk about, but first I'm going to open a little beer here. Sun is about to set and it's going to be a pretty nice evening. The next one is a fragrance that made me want to get into more spicier fragrances from the get-go when I smelled this one. It is a fragrance that works really well on both younger guys and older guys. It doesn't really have a specific age span, I think, because it's such a beautiful created DNA of a fragrance, and this is the original spice bomb. I would say like this: if you are a younger guy, oh, it smells so extremely good. If you're a younger guy and you like very sweet fragrances, the alternative is of course Spice Bomb Extreme, that has an added vanilla note that makes it a little bit more sweeter. But this is ridiculous. It's so extremely good. If you haven't smelled this, I think it's one of the better creations for a winter fragrance. And if I just had to pick one, like straight out of a winter fragrance, I think it's going to be Spice Bomb, the original. It's super masculine. It is something that a lot of girls really love. And it's something that is a little bit overlooked here in Sweden, which in my opinion is very good, because then you can stick out and people can wonder, what is that great smell when you're walking there in the park in the autumn and fall, maybe drinking a beer, having a latte or whatever you like, and people get pleasantly surprised when you get a whiff of this fragrance, especially here. I know that this is pretty popular in a lot of other places in the world, of course, but here it's not so used, and I'm very thankful for that. The next fragrance that I will definitely wear, but you can also wear this in other type of seasons, of course, and this is Sabosh Perfume. Notice I said parfum, and this is not the eau de toilette then, obviously. It's a super mass appealing scent, but if you don't like the original Sabosh DNA at all, I think you should sample this first. But because even though this is more toned down, this is the big brother of this Sabosh line. They have the Sabosh DNA, the sharpness in the bottom. It comes through little by little, but it's been polished in the edges a little bit. But if you are a guy who don't really have Sabosh in your collection already, but you don't really like the sharpness of it, or you heard that it's pretty sharp and pretty shouting and you're not that kind of guy and wants a little bit more sweeter take on that fragrance for the winter time, I think you should try the original, or not the original, but Sabosh Perfume, because it is a super, first of all, it's a super mass appealing scent. So even though you're not into fragrances that much and you want something that works really good, especially now in the fall, this is a no-go, I think, or it's a no-brainer, sorry, because it's both mass appealing, it's soft, it sits on your skin for a long time, and it's a very good bang for the buck. And women go crazy for this. It's ridiculous actually how much they like this DNA. It's because it's super masculine, this DNA, but I think this one takes it in another route. This is not just the, okay, I'm so masculine, I'm so fresh, I'm so clean. This is, okay, I'm masculine, but I also have a personality. I also have a sensitive side. I don't have to prove myself so much. I am a man, and I'm proud of being a man, but I don't have to be a show-off. I don't have to shout. I don't have to be loud. I'm not that kind of guy. This is what this fragrance tells me. I'm a man, but I don't have to say it to everyone. And I don't have to prove that I'm alpha. I can be whatever I want, you know? The sky's the limit. So that's what I feel when I smell this fragrance. I'm definitely gonna start wearing this much more now when the summer is over. Okay, my ladies and gentlemen. Smells very good, this one. And then we have Spice Bomb on the table. I can't really pick. That's the funny thing. It's really hard to pick when you have a lot of fragrances to choose from, of course. But enough with the blabbering. Before I present to you the last fragrance, I have to take a little bit of a drink of beer. I'm not recommending anyone to drink, just to let you know, guys. But it's good sometimes. Anyways, the last fragrance I want to recommend to everyone is something that is an entry fragrance for the fall and winter time, I would say. This is a fragrance that I feel mix a lot of designer fragrances, a lot of spicy fragrances, a lot of not so spicy fragrances, a lot of fruity fragrances together in one batch. And they make it pretty good. They make it pretty good. And this is, of course, or not of course, but this is Hugo Boss, the Scent Absolute. Okay, so we take this here, Living the Life. It smells pretty good. It has a fruity accord in this one that makes it pretty likable, light and likable. And the good thing with this is, even though it's pretty long lasting for a Hugo Boss fragrance, it is not that strong and like in your face and sticks in your nose that a lot of fragrances for the winter time can be. They can be pretty in your face, but this one, it's very good. It has some chocolate in this one, it has some hazelnuts, and also I think there's a manuka fruit, or what they call it. But this one is a staple fragrance if you just want one fragrance and if you want a mass appealing fragrance. This is not at all in the same ballpark as Dior Homme Intense, for example. While Dior Homme Intense is a beautiful created fragrance, you have to like fragrances and be a little bit of a connoisseur to enjoy the scent and the creation of Dior Homme Intense. That's why I say it to you guys. Be aware. But if you want something that you are probably gonna love and people around you are probably gonna love in this beautiful autumn that is coming with big steps, I actually think that you will go with this one first. First of all, the first fragrance I would go for. Maybe second one, Spice Bomb, and third one, Sabosh. All in all, these are super easy to like fragrances for the autumn time. It's not the quantity I've noticed, it's the quality of the fragrances, and it is how much you love the scents that you have. I can just sit a night by myself taking a beer. You do what you can to find some comfort. I don't feel that I'm depressed, but sometimes, you know, we have low days that we are sitting by ourselves and don't really know what life is going to bring to us in a couple of years. And then it's nice to have hobbies. And I think even though this is an expensive hobby to collect fragrances, if you do it responsible, it could be a very nice hobby, I think. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching till the end of this video. And hope I could give you some recommendations and what I feel about fragrances in general from the heart. And to be honest, thank you very much, and I'll see you the next time. Bye bye.